Hi, it's John here, and I just wanted to talk through how we set our fees. Now, we set a fee for each of our clients at the start of every year. As we said before, we don't try to be the cheapest. We're not the most expensive either, but we're trying to set a fee that allows us to provide a quality service, a service that allows us to spend time with you, understand your business, and give great advice to grow the business, reduce your tax bill, and help you reach your goals. So at the start of each year, we set the fee for the year. We prepare a detailed proposal, and this is our proposal software. The idea is we want to give you a proposal that's easy to understand and also very transparent in the pricing. It explains each of the services that we're going to provide to you and the fee for each service. So to an extent, we provide a menu of services, and you can pick which ones you do want and which ones you don't want. As you can imagine, our pricing software is, of course, cloud-based, because practically everything we do is cloud-based. And it's there, like I say, to ensure consistency in our pricing. The amounts for the annual services within the software are fixed for 12 months. So to an extent, they're an annual fee divided by 12. So if your accounts were going to cost £1,200, it would be £100 for 12 months. And therefore they are payable for the full 12 months. Whereas other services that are monthly or quarterly are a monthly fee which can change throughout the year. So for example, if you have a payroll for 5 people and during the year it changes to payroll for 10 people, we'll increase the fee. Similarly, if people leave and it becomes a payroll for 1 person, we can decrease the fee. Whereas the accounts are fixed for 12 months. We only amend the accounts if there is a fundamental change to the business, either in terms of growth or reduction. So how is the fee calculated? Well, it does come down to kind of 3 main drivers. The first of which is the size of the business. We use turnover because generally, you know that, and it's easy to kind of keep an eye on. And what we're doing to an extent is reflecting the fact that £100,000 turnover but business needs less work than £1 million turnover business needs less work than a £10 million turnover business. That's because there's more going on, and it leads to more complex issues, whether that be in terms of just the accounting or the tax. We then look at the structure of the business. Are you a sole trader, a partnership, a limited company? The vast majority of our clients are limited companies, and that structure then is just reflecting the needs and requirements of a limited company. And the last driver is the bookkeeping. Basically, what records are you giving us to allow us to prepare your accounts and do the work? And with the bookkeeping, we happily do provide bookkeeping services to many of our clients, but simply many of our clients do their own. And obviously that has an impact on the fee, because if we're doing the bookkeeping, there's more work than if we're not doing the bookkeeping. So the examples I'm going to go through in a moment are going to work on the assumption that you do the bookkeeping. That's something like us do for you. Of course, we can help with that. Then it's all about the level of service you want. So, do you need a payroll? How many people are on the payroll? Do you need a VAT return? Would you like management accounts? So, as I said earlier, it's effectively like a menu of our services that we can work down. So to give you an idea of our fees, I thought the best thing to do was price a few up. And to an extent, look at a business as it grows, because then even though this won't show your precise fee, it'll give an idea of where you sit on that pathway, and therefore broadly what the fee will be when you come to meet us. And of course, when you do come to meet us, you'll get a proposal that is bespoke and precise to your kind of needs and your wants. So I'm going to start off with a limited company. Now, with a limited company, our absolute minimum fee is £99 plus VAT per month. And these businesses are generally operated by kind of one person with annual sales of under £30,000. So the services required are a set of accounts, a corporation tax return, a personal tax return, and a payroll for the owner to take a tax efficient kind of director's salary out. We set that minimum to let us do quality work, basically, because no matter what the size of the business, even if we were putting just zeros in, it takes some time to prepare the set of accounts. But the key thing really is to allow us actually to understand you, understand your business, and give good quality advice. So what I'm going to do on here, though, is then tell a bit of a story and put in a few scenarios as the business grows. So if the one person business, you've grown from being that one person £30,000 turnover, where all you need to an extent is the legal requirements, and you start to need a bit more kind of advice and some help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these templates. Now, it's not a package in a convention form. It's just pre-ticking a few items on the menu to show you what we have. So what I'm going to assume then is your business has grown now. You're a one-person business and your sales are £100,000. So let's say we work in bandings. I'm going to tick the £100,000 there. This then shows the start date when the first monthly payment will be made and what the financial year end is. They don't actually affect the price as such, so I'll leave them as they are. And then we've gone for the compliance as such service. I might call it Compliance Plus, because we will make sure that we do, give you some advice to keep you tax efficient. But fundamentally, it's pre-ticking the things and leaving things like management accounts to be on a roadmap for later. So it does include annual accounts of corporation tax return, based on you being in this case, one of the cloud accounting software. We're doing the VAT returns during the year, because as you can imagine, that affects both the software, affects our fee, our cheapest fees if you are one of the main cloud accounting softwares. We use them across many clients and therefore very comfortable with them. And similarly, if we've done the VAT returns, is our cheapest fee, because we actually do work in the VAT returns that will make the year-end process much smoother. I've then ticked the VAT returns based on a quarterly cycle, the standard cycle. I ticked that you were doing the bookkeeping. Now, if we're doing the bookkeeping, there will be a fee further down for us to do the bookkeeping. But if we are doing the bookkeeping, the VAT return is slightly cheaper. And that's because the work we do to produce a VAT return is not... It's not just clicking a button in Xero or QuickBooks or Free Agent. We do review your accounting software for the bookkeeping, but also we do very much review that VAT return. So we go through and follow very much to the extent of the process that HMRC might if they were investigating you, but obviously to kind of a further level as we're doing. So we want it to be right. So we will go through each of the main VAT boxes, check we'll pick out, say, the 10 largest purchases to ensure you've claimed the correct VAT on them. Or not. We'll pick out consistent invoices to suppliers that hit a certain threshold to make sure that they're correct. We'll also review the 20% VAT reclaims. We'll review the zero VAT reclaims to look for items which are, would surprise us or would look like they're in the wrong place. So as an example, something like insurance never has VAT on it. So if you claim VAT, that is probably incorrect. But the flip side is, if we see something you've not claimed VAT on, which we'd expect there to be VAT on, we'll be checking that as well. What that means is, therefore, that if you do the bookkeeping, we charge more if we've done it for this review. But the flip side is, you don't have to pay us a bookkeeping fee. So that's what I've done there. In this instance, one payroll, the director, no need actually for workplace pension at that point. We'll have a director's tax return, a confirmation statement. There's an option of professional fee protection. I'm going to remove that. That pays your fees in the case of an HMRC investigation, most of which you are to an extent picked out for hat, but they have very much increased their workforce and doing that recently in the budget. In the autumn of 2024, they announced they're recruiting an extra 5,000 staff to undertake these investigations. I will untick it for the moment. It is optional. We do charge actually a one-off registration fee up front to do the work we need to onboard you. That includes the monies we spend out actually for money laundering, which is a legal requirement. But I'll just untick that for the moment because I just want to show you the monthly fees. And I say I've included the confirmation statement there, which is the annual return that is sent into Companies House. Option to buy the software through us. I will leave those for the moment. And what we have down the bottom actually are just to an extent, a reminder of how we work. I went to great depth here because when we meet, we can go through those. But I think the key thing is you do get a dedicated client manager with us. So you have a named point of contact who, to an extent, anything you need, they'll get sorted. There'll be a team behind them doing much of the work, but they will be your focus points. You know who to ring, they know you, they know your business, and you know them. The quick query service is showing that we, including the monthly fee, are quick queries, and quick queries to an extent are up to 15 minutes. We want you to be able to ring us and ask us questions, but we also can understand that obviously it has to be within reason, and therefore the quick query service says that broadly, if it's within 15 minutes, it will be included. If it's more than 15 minutes, there might be a fee. Of course, we're reasonable upon that. If you don't ring for 8 months and take 16 minutes, of course there isn't a fee. Similarly, if you ring for 14 minutes every day, we might want to chat because it's a fair usage policy, but it's that kind of starting point. And as an example, a very common query we get these days is about electric cars, and if it's a quick query about the tax efficiency of an electric car, absolutely included in the quick query service. If it's actually to do detailed calculations on specific electric cars that you're looking for, then there would probably be an additional fee, because actually that will take some time to do. So that's what that's saying there. So let's go on to the calculation. And what that comes out at is £194 a month to include those services. As you can see, it shows line by line what each costs. So it's £70 for the annual accounts, £88 for the VAT returns, £15 for one person payroll, £15 for one person director tax return with all income from the limited company, £6 for the confirmation statement. And what that will actually produce then is, if I go down here, we would put in your details and get down to the bottom here, it would produce a PDF which would be sent to you with exactly that in, obviously a bit of information on there, but then it shows those fees there with as we scroll through. It then has an explanation of exactly what you picked, and again, which software and who was doing the VAT returns and so on and so forth. So that's that one-person consultancy business, or one-person business, with turnover about £100,000. Now, let's say then you grow and the sales increase to £400,000. So you sit in this banding here. We also then have the on top of that, you take on take on 3 staff, an additional 2 staff, so you have 3 employees, and the other 2 need a workplace pension because they are the employees. And for the moment, everything else stays exactly the same. So what happens there, let's say the business grows, it becomes more complex, you have more people on the payroll, and therefore the fee increases to £358 per month. As you can see, things like the your tax returns the same, confirmation statements the same, but these things have gone up to reflect the fact there are more people on the payroll and a more complex business. Then, because the business has grown, you decide that actually what would be really useful is to have more regular contact with us and more regular meetings. And what we generally recommend is, as a business certainly goes through £250,000 should be thinking of it, and it starts at £500,000. We absolutely recommend management accounts meetings. These are meetings where we prepare management accounts through the year, i.e. rather than wait till the year end, we prepare sets of accounts on a regular basis. So, for example, quarterly, and meet to discuss these. Within the management accounts that we prepare, there will be the standard financial statements in terms of a balance sheet, a profit and loss, and a cash flow. But also we include key performance indicators that we discuss with you that really kind of get behind the numbers and actually what really drives your business. And that might be number of leads. We can link to your website, look at website hits. If you are kind of a bricks and mortar business, it might be kind of sales per square meter. But really, we can work with you to work out what are those drivers and track them with you. Because I guess what what gets measured matters. So if we're looking at with you on a regular basis, you're focusing too to help really drive that kind of business, drive your business forward. So therefore, we drop in these management accounts on a quarterly basis with the meetings to go along with that. And then also, because you are growing, you think actually what would be really useful would be to have a pre-year end tax planning review. So sit down before the year end and do a detailed planning review on the business to ensure you're as tax efficient as possible. Including our standard service, we will look, ensure you have, say, the tax efficient salary and ensure you are compliant. But this is properly a no stone unturned tax planning review for you. So I'm going to drop that in. And then also at that point, you decide, actually, I will take that professional fee protection. So then the fee then increases. And the fee becomes £680 per month plus VAT to include all of that. And again, you can see these have dropped in here, the management accounts, the meetings, the pre-year end, and that professional fee protection. Okay, so then let's work on the have another audience. You've grown, those management accounts meetings have been incredibly helpful and successful. The business has grown, and my last example I share with you, become a £1.5 million turnover business. You have taken on an additional 10 team members. There's now 13 people on the payroll, 12 of whom are in the workplace pension scheme. Everything else stays the same. And the fee then becomes £1,072 plus VAT per month. And you think, actually, now I've grown, actually, the management account meetings are absolutely brilliant, but I need more of them. I need to really keep an eye on my business, not just quarterly, but monthly. So we just increase the frequency of those meetings, and they become monthly. And as you can probably imagine, if we're having 3 times as many meetings, we simply multiply these fees by 3. Everything else remains exactly the same, but the overall fee now becomes £1,671 per month. And like I say, it's these bits have just kind of trebled because we're having 3 times as many meetings. It is as simple as that. So these are real prices. Like I said, they are just examples. They'll all depend on the size of your business and what you want and what you need. As you can see, that there are a number of things on our menu. And when we meet, we'll talk through them for you. And it's very much finding the ones that are right for you. We certainly would never recommend any service that would not be of benefit to you. And you can add services and take them away throughout the year. Like I said, the new ones that are fixed are things like the annual accounts, because that is an annual process. But to use the management accounts as an example, what's quite often people start off without them for small business and add them later on. Other things might kind of flex all the way through. And it's important to say as well, we have clients at all levels here, and every client gets a top quality service from a top quality team, and we enjoy working with clients of different sizes taking different services. So the best way to understand your price is to meet with us so we can understand your business, your goals, and put together a plan to help you get there, and therefore put together the price for you to get the best value from our services. Hope to see you soon.